A new mystery signal is repeating from a distant galaxy, and it's a weird one. So what's happening? Where is this coming from? A newly discovered source of repeating fast radio bursts, deepening the mystery of what precisely could be producing these powerful outbursts. The source first detected in 2019. It was named FRB 190520b, and it seems to be frequently spitting out millisecond bursts of powerful radio waves. This has allowed astronomers to perform analysis that reveal information about where it comes from in the universe and the space around it. Those analyses suggest that there is probably more than one mechanism in the big white cosmos capable of producing these strange outbursts. Fast radio bursts, or FRBs, as the name suggests, are very fast bursts of radiation lasting only milliseconds in duration that flare brightly in radio wavelengths. Most of them come from other galaxies. Only one source has been detected in the Milky Way. And they're extremely bright, discharging as much energy in an instant as 500 million suns. 500 million suns. Most of these outbursts have only been detected once. They come out of nowhere, burst once, then we never see them again. And this makes them largely impossible to predict and very difficult to trace and study. But a few sources, well, there are 3 now, have been detected repeating, and they offer a tantalizing opportunity to understand what's going on, maybe. The FRB detected in the Milky Way came from a type of dead star called a magnetar. It suggests that at least one FRB, some FRBs are caused by magnetar eruptions, but there are still a lot of unknowns. Astrophysicist T.G. Agarwal from West Virginia University says, "Are those that repeat different from those that don't repeat?" The discovery signal from FRB 190520b arrived at Earth in May of 2019, detected by the 500-meter aperture spherical radio telescope, FAST for short, and it's in China and found in the data in November of that year. Follow-up observations of the location of the sky revealed that the source was repeating. More observations were conducted using the National Science Foundation's Carl G. Yansky Very Large Array. It revealed a fascinating set of characteristics. The signals were coming from the outskirts of a very old dwarf galaxy, nearly 4 billion light years away. Between radio bursts, the source seems to be beaming out weaker radio emissions, and this suggests that the fast radio bursts are coming from a compact, persistent radio source, the nature of which is, of course, not known. If you're a fast radio burst aficionado, this might sound familiar. That's because those characteristics are shared with another famous repeating fast radio burst, FRB 121102. This was the first FRB ever traced to a source, the outskirts of a very old dwarf galaxy 3 billion light years away, and it also is associated with a compact persistent radio source. Astronomer Casey Law of Caltech says, now we have 2 like this, and that brings up some important questions. We don't, for example, know whether one of FRB are repeating at energies too low for us to detect them, but scientists have thought for some time that there may be at least 2 different mechanisms for producing the bursts, and the discovery of FRB 190520b is consistent with this idea. This could either mean that the different bursts are emitted by different objects or emitted by the same kind of object in different stages of its evolution. Magnetars are a type of neutron star. They collapsed ultra-dense core of a massive star after it has gone supernova and died, and they also feature an extremely powerful magnetic field. It's possible that normal neutron stars and magnetars emit FRBs in different ways. Further analysis suggests another feature of fast radio bursts may not be as useful for measuring the universe as astronomers may have thought. This feature is called the dispersion measure, and it has to do with how light is scattered by tenuous gas in the space between us and the source. Higher frequency waves travel more efficiently than those of lower frequency, and this can be used as a guide to measure distance. For FRB 190520b, the dispersion measure suggests that the source is 8 to 9.5 billion light years away. Independent measures of the distance, however, show that the galaxy is not that far. This means that there is a lot of material near the FRB that would confuse any attempt to use it to measure the gas between galaxies, Agarwal says, and if that's the case with others, then we can't count on using FRBs as cosmic yardsticks. On the other hand, this suggests that the persistent radio source emitting the FRBs resides in a very complex plasma environment consistent with the characteristics of a recent superluminous supernova. This suggests that whatever the source is, it formed very recently a newborn FRB source. We further postulate that FRB 121102 and FRB 190520b represent the initial stage of an evolving FRB population. This is what astronomer D. Li says of the National Astronomical Observations of the Chinese Academy of Science in China, who led the research. A coherent picture of the origin and evolution of FRBs is likely to emerge in just a few years. And this was published in Nature magazine. Originally here, this was published by Science Alert, Michelle Starr, and it's on Collective Spark. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.